starting off at 17, when my book starts, I was married. I was actually got pregnant and married, yes, in that order. And the guy that I married was an alcoholic. And he was very abusive. So I'd gone through 2 years of learning what it was like to be an abused wife. The way that that marriage ended wasn't by any choice of mine at the time. It was because he was drinking and driving, rolled his car, broke his neck and died instantly. And then from there, I married again just a few short months later to a guy that I knew for a few years. And we had our daughter. And I had my dreams and goals like anybody else in life. For my kids, for one thing, that they were going to grow up and be whatever, doctors or lawyers. But it seemed like every time I took 5 steps forward, I'd be knocked back 7 steps, and the first thing that knocked me back was my son was 5 years old and he was run over by a car. He was left in a coma for 2 months. I was told that he would never come out of the coma. He did come out of the coma. Then it was 9 years, just about to the day later, that my daughter was also hit by a car, and she was walking her bike, and it was just a replay. She was in a coma for 2 months. Probably never going to come out of that coma. But this time I didn't give up, and I didn't go home and cry for 3 days straight. And it wasn't long before she did come out of the coma, and she did come home to heal. I was learning how to move forward in life, but the moving forward was not only with my kids' accidents. My husband decided that he was going to leave me for another woman. So I had that to contend with, and I learned in that time how to raise 3 kids on my own, how to be a single mother with 2 kids that are physically and mentally challenged. I met my husband, Gord, in that time, and one night we were volunteering at the Speedway when the tow truck backed up, and the boom hit my husband in the head, broke his neck C3 and 4, and then the truck continued to drive over him with the dual tires and crush him, and I was told that he would never live with those kind of injuries. So he's alive today and fine. You would never know that anything like this, that he battled with a tow truck, as he would say. In that time, I guess you could say that it was a chain of disasters. It would be, but it led me to writing my book, Chain of Miracles. I never thought or imagined I'd ever be where I am today and traveling around North America, speaking to people, doing conferences, sharing my book, sharing my story to give others hope in their own similar situations has been just wonderful.
Help me welcome to the stage, Tricia Kell.
I wonder how many of you here have a dream. Who has a dream? Almost. The kind of dream I'm talking about is one that is so far-fetched, so out of reach that you'd almost think was impossible. You know, 4 years ago, people used to come to me and say, Trish, you have such a story to tell. You have to write a book and share that story. And I mean, I'd always laugh. I sure never considered myself to be a writer. And I came up with such a good idea. I would just get someone to write the book for me. I wrote letters to different writing groups. I wrote letters to different authors. I even wrote a letter to Oprah, giving them the shortened version of my story and asking if they had anybody that could write my book for me. And I got the same answer back from all of them. No, that book is in your heart. You're going to have to be the one to write it. I sat down at my computer to write a 10-minute speech that I was supposed to give the following Monday at Toastmasters. Now, if you think you've got a book inside of you, how hard is it to write a 10-minute speech? But I never did give that speech. By the following Monday, it was 20 pages long. And by December 1st, just 2 weeks later, it was 100 pages long. 3 months later, by March 1st, I wrote the last 3 words of a 450-page manuscript. Now, we didn't have a clue what we're supposed to do with this. So the next day, we went out to the public library in Winnipeg, where I'm from, with hopes of finding a book called How to Publish a Book for Dummies. There was no such thing, but what we did find was a poster on the bulletin board saying that one of the leading authors in Manitoba at the time was willing to critique manuscripts. Am I crazy? This woman was not only an award-winning author, but she was also a professor at the university that taught writing. And here's me giving this run-on manuscript with not even a chapter title or anything for her to read. And when I met with her the following Tuesday, I actually sat across her desk from her and I was watching her face to see if she was trying to hold back her laugh. But instead of any kind of smile, she had a warm, friendly look when she said to me, "Your book is like a masterpiece. It's like a fine piece of granite. Just take it out, smooth it down, get it carved, get a publisher." And I had to actually look across the table to see whose manuscript she really had, because I was sure it wasn't mine. My book did get published. It didn't just get published, it also won the award for Canada for Life Stories. It became a Canadian bestseller in a very short time, just in Manitoba alone. I've written now a second book, and I'm on my third, the sequel to Chain of Miracles. If anybody here has a dream, you know, one of those dreams that are really far-fetched and out of reach, the dreams that you only think are just dreams, they can't become real, okay? Just take it from me. I'm nobody special, and I'm standing in the middle of my impossible dream, and I'm loving every minute of it. If the women out there have any dreams or goals that they think is impossible dreams, or that they're going the 5 steps forward and 7 steps back, believe me, now that I'm an empowered woman, I've learned from the M University that, you know, the knowledge, the wisdom to keep me going. Keeps me going in the right direction, keeps me focused. In order to accomplish my goals and my dreams, sure, I'm going to run into hiccups along the way and into problems along the way, but instead of letting that trip me and send me off in the wrong direction, that you just keep on going forward and never give up, never give up. My name is Tricia Kell, and if I can do it, you can do it, and together we can change the world.